All right. Hello. Hello. Welcome to our session today with Zen Planner and Weld and Optum. We're just going to give everybody just a couple of minutes. I see some more people trickling in on our registration. So we'll give them a few minutes. While you y'all are waiting and before we do introductions, go ahead and drop in the chat where you're from, what gym you're with, and are you currently using Zen Planner or our partnership network? All right, welcome Kim from Lakeside Family Fitness. Kimberly, where are you located at? Hi, Cecilia, Coral Springs, Florida. Okay, awesome. Eric is from Texas. He is using Zen Planner. Very good. Jenny, Myrtle Beach. Love it. Christina from Pennsylvania. Sorry. Oh, now they're scrolling in. All right, we got a quorum. We got a lot of people in this room. This is exciting. So, all right, keep dropping in where you guys are from. Just gonna make sure I have this set up. Andover Fit Body Boot Camp in Massachusetts. Valley Stream Triple H Fitness. Where are you at, Sheila? Welcome, Michael from NC Fit North Shore, Long Island. Great. John from CrossFit. Is it Merced, California? Using ZP. Charles from, oh man, I'm going to butcher this one. CrossFit Keonia in Kennesaw, Georgia. I know I messed that one up. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry about that, Charles. Atlas Performance Training Orlando. Welcome, Ernest. Coda CrossFit native. Natalie, welcome. North 41 CrossFit in Cleveland, Ohio. Welcome, Ashley. Hi, Liz. Oh, Liz, my favorite person from ZP. Welcome. Nicole with Amped. No sound right now. Let me know if you guys can hear us. And Whitney and Steven, you guys want to do a quick sound check? Just make sure everybody can hear everyone.
Yeah, hi. Can you guys hear me? Okay.
Me too.
Seeing some yeses come in. Sounds like we're good.
All right. Very good. Very good. Sorry, I'm here in the Midwest and it's already dark. Sun's already setting for some reason. So I guess I'm lying. All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and get started. Feel free, if you're in the chat, go ahead and ask questions as we're going. We'll pause, we'll answer. We also have a couple moderators in the chat, so they're there to help as well. Today, we're going to be talking about the Zen Planner and Optum integration and how we can help drive more revenue to your box or your gym without any investment from you, which is always a good thing. My name is Mike Wiest. I'm a 10-year affiliate or CrossFit gym owner, and I also serve as the vice president of our Zen Planner. So happy to be here and host today. Whitney, you want to do a quick introduction?
Yeah, that's great. I am Whitney Clay. I am with Optum, so here to represent our Medicare, Medicaid, and commercial fitness offerings and to share a little bit more about the relationship, and I'm eager to share some of those details. I do spearhead our network management team within this space, so we lead all of the partnerships once they're executed with our programs.
Awesome. And Steven?
Yeah, and I'm Steven Wright. I also work on the Zen Planner team. I work in partnerships. So I'm happy to be a part of this.
Great. Well, thank you all for joining. Yep, we will be sending out the recording after the call. So, okay, let's go to our next slide here. And so we're going to overview a new program we have with the Optum Medicare and Commercial Fitness Programs. So you may have heard of these programs in the past, but now with our direct integration, we're going to show you how to leverage these programs to grow your gym. So just a quick run through of our agenda today. So why Zen Planner, why Optum now? A little bit of an overview of the program, how to verify eligibility, how to get started, and then how did we actually grow and promote this in our community? And then we'll spend some time. We also have some people from Weld here with us for Q&A. Welcome, Mark. I see you. Oh, we need to check. Hold on. Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear my? Okay, good. Brandon, if you can't hear, go ahead and log back in and check your volume settings. So, okay, next slide. So why ZenPlanner and Optum? So we're going to do a quick run through of that. So the Optum Fitness Network provides reimbursement programs for those people on Medicare, Medicaid, and corporate insurance. So it's a great opportunity for a new type of customer and a new line of revenue. And so we're going to get into all those details. In addition to that, with this direct integration, this partnership, we're going to help provide with some free advertising, automatic eligibility tracking and payments, which is super important. As somebody who's owned a gym for a long time, I know another program is another thing to audit and manage. And then we're going to provide some marketing resources that you can use in your location and your local community. So our goal, though, is to help you drive more members, more revenue to your gyms, and at zero cost. So the Optum Fitness Network gives ZenPlanner customers in the U.S. access to 12 million people. And Whitney's going to get into more detail what this looks like. So it's really an opportunity for you to help grow members and revenues to a program that typically would be very challenging to manage. And we make it super easy, and we're going to run you through that here now. So with that, Whitney, do you want to give an overview of the program?
Yes, I sure will. Yeah, so my goal today is to not only give an overview of our program and the various members that you would have access to through participation in these programs, but also hopefully also be able to articulate to you how it's kind of a no touch for you with our direct integration with Weld and the real-time eligibility validation and some of those pieces. So I'll first start with a program overview and talk about our Medicare and commercial fitness offerings. So first and foremost, call out that members are able to visit any participating locations within their tier nationwide. So there is full reciprocity for members, meaning they can access any gym or fitness location, boutique location that's in our network as part of their fitness offering and receive access. So meaning they can join multiple facilities and utilize multiple facilities, maybe while they're traveling, they're snowbirds, etc. It's something that's very neat about our program. To break it down, you'll see that there are a few different program names. So under the Medicare and Medicaid network, the program names are known as Renew Active by United Healthcare and OnePass Medicare and Medicaid. As part of this, there are about 12 million eligible members, and that number is expected to continue to grow as we get into 2023. I will say I think there's roughly about 10,000 individuals nationwide that age into Medicare on a daily basis. So you can imagine that with that, there's just always organic growth. And then with our unique offerings, we do continue to also grow our client base for health plans. The other offering that members, as part of this, I should state, then members are eligible through their Medicare plan, so typically those 65 years of age and older, or their Medicaid plan, so those 18 to 64. Members are eligible by presenting a confirmation code starting with the letter A or S and followed by 9 numbers. And as part of our agreement with ZenPlanner, these members are allowed 4 visits per location per month if you were to opt in. Anything outside of that is an opportunity if the member wishes to use more than 4 visits per month. That is a buy-up opportunity for you at the facility. To enroll, members are eligible to be eligible for Renew Active or OnePass Medicare Medicaid at the beginning of their effective plan, and their tier is determined by their health plan, and they cannot change the tier in which they're eligible for. Now, funneling over to our other network, it is our commercial offering known as OnePass Commercial. Currently, there are about 1.2 million eligible members, and again, expected fairly significant growth trajectory as we get into 2023. For this one, members are actually eligible through their qualified employer or their qualified family member's employer. These individuals are more the working class population, so those 18 to 64. Their confirmation codes signifying eligibility begin with the letter B as in boy and are followed by 9 digits. And then as part of this offering, members are actually eligible to access 8 classes or visits per month as part of the partnership. And again, anything that they wish to utilize outside of that would be a buy-up opportunity. And then lastly, enrollment for this one pass commercial 18 to 64 population is that members must opt into the program and choose which tier they want to utilize. And they're welcome to change their tier monthly. So that would then begin effective any facility change, or excuse me, membership tier changes would begin the first day of the following month.
And then Whitney, let me jump in real quick.
Yeah,
So
please do.
part of the eligibility for 4 visits or 8 visits, what's in it for the gym owner? What do they get from a revenue perspective? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, and I don't know, Stephen, too, if you certainly want to share kind of what the contract itself looks like. I can say that as part of the agreement, we do have a pay per visit fee structure that is in place up to that 4 and 8 visit cap that would funnel through and then be disseminated accordingly to participating facilities.
Yeah, and I can jump in there with a little bit of the specifics of the agreement. So, for the One Pass commercial members, that's the 8 check-ins. You're going to be receiving $14 per check-in from Optum, and for the Renew Active Medicare Medicaid, you're going to be receiving $15 per check-in, and that's a limit of 4 check-ins per month.
Great. Okay, and we'll talk more about in a little bit later on in the presentation how we start to attract and find people on these programs to build that audience in your gym. So Whitney, you're up again, I think.
Yeah, yes. So this is just kind of a slick overview slide of the partner experience. So if you were to opt in or you already have opted in, what that partner flow looks like. So again, the member learns that they're eligible for either Renew Active or One Pass. They obtain their code either by visiting the benefit plan website. And from there, they're able to view participating locations. So that is a point of marketing, right? That's free. There's a location search out there. Members are able to search all participating locations via zip code. It does auto populate to their home zip code. From there, once a member obtains their code, if they were to participate as part of this agreement, they are given direction to actually onboard via a designated Weld Zen Planner URL. So at time of opt-in, you would be provided a designated URL that's surfaced on our member experience. So the member onboards, they create a record, they validate their eligibility with that code, and then they follow the normal check-in process at your club accordingly. So really hands off for you, right? As part of that onboarding process through that Weld Zen Planner URL, they are given direction, meaning the member to onboard, create a record, and then they're able to just check in accordingly, and that feeds to Weld. Once that's done, as I said, that eligibility is validated upon enrollment. So not only validating that A, S, or B padded code is eligible, but that member is eligible for your respective facility tier. So again, hands off for you, no action needed. Once on a monthly basis, those members are checking in via their standard check-in process. Utilization is captured within Weld. That is then fed to us at Optum on a monthly basis. We process those records. We then pay Weld, who in turn disseminates payment accordingly. And at that time, payment is disseminated. Return reports are also available, validating the process records for those members and the number of visits. So that payment typically happens on or around the 25th of the month for the previous month. I'm going to go to the next slide. This is just a little bit more on program overview. So again, just reiterating what I covered on that first slide, for OnePass commercial, these members must opt in. They are eligible via their qualifying employer or their qualified family member's employer. And again, those confirmation codes will start with the letter B and be followed by 9 numbers. That is what they input via the designated WELD URL that is surfaced, and that's what's validated against eligibility. Verifying eligibility. So as I said, for you all, the great news is it's validated via that member onboarding flow from the URL. So you can see here that for our Medicare and Medicaid, meaning Renew Active and OnePass Medicare and Medicaid, there are 2 facility tiers. So either core or premium. You would fall within the premium tier, but as part of that WELD onboarding process, once a member inputs their A or S padded code, it is not only validating that code is eligible, but that member's user tier is premium, meaning they can gain access and create a record to then check in at your club. For commercial, you'll see that there are a few different facility tiers, so a few more, I should say, than our government sector. So with commercial, there are 4 tiers. As part of this agreement, you would fall within the elite tier. And again, to reiterate, that validation is not your responsibility. It is done via the member onboarding flow. So validating that B padded code is indeed eligible, but not only eligible from that they've opted in, but eligible to access your elite tier. And with this, if a member were to happen to opt into a lesser than elite tier, classic, standard, etc., they can always change that on a monthly basis and in turn opt into that elite tier and gain access to your clubs. Adding members. So with this, again, I hope the common theme that you're hearing is we've tried to, in partnership with Zen Planner and in partnership with Weld, make this an experience for you all, knowing you're busy, right? You're running clubs, you are maybe teaching classes, you're cascading information. Our goal is really to have it be not very high touch at all for you to get these members in your door. So with the partnership with Weld, this has really allowed us for the member to manage their onboarding accordingly. So again, they would onboard via that URL we surface within our member onboarding experience. You are seeing a screenshot here of what that looks like and what the member would hit. So they input their confirmation code and a few other details. That code is then validated and they gain access. It will validate, yes, you are eligible, that record's created, and then they check in as they typically would, and then have the opportunity to add additional classes if needed, if they want to exceed the 4 or 8 visits allotted. You can see on this screen, I do have a public facing partner website that we do have for all of our partners to access. It's not password authenticated. It's partneroptumfitness.com. So this is another way for partners to either validate eligibility or generate codes on members' behalf. But again, not a requirement. The goal is the member gets their code and onboards via that URL. And this is what it does look like within Zen Planner. So I don't know, if one of you, Stephen or somebody else would like to speak to this slide, because I'm not as familiar with what it looks like on the inside, if you will. So I'll maybe turn it over to one of you to touch on this if you want to go
Yeah,
through a couple of the screen grabs.
sure. I'd be happy to jump in. And all of you on this webinar are familiar with what Zen Planner looks like, so this is not going to be a surprise here. But it's really, these screenshots are designed to show you that as far as you're concerned, interacting with these members within your Zen Planner system, they're going to show up just like any other member. So you can see on the left side, we've got Brian here with the Optum Renew Active. You can see the amount of classes they have left, 0 out of 4 attendance. You can pull these members in a membership specific report, just like you would any other member. So that's what those are designed to show.
Thank you.
Sorry, I couldn't find my
That's
mute
okay.
button.
Oh man, maybe it is me, but I'll let you take it.
Yeah, so we're gonna drop in the chat the registration link. Let's see, did that populate it? If not, Crystal, if you can drop that link in there. There we go. Okay, now it's populating. So yeah, we make it super easy to get registered. We have a landing page set up, optum.zenplanner.com, and all you need to do is go fill that out. It should take you just a minute or two to put your information in. You're going to get some instructions from Weld to complete your account setup. And then we have some instructions on ZenPlanner. There's just a couple of configuration things you need to do to set up ZenPlanner. We have a help article that outlines step-by-step how to do that. Now, if you have any trouble or you're not exactly sure how to set up your ZenPlanner database, then just reach out to support@zenplanner.com or give us a call and we're happy to walk you all through that. So we want to make this program as easy as possible for you all to implement and introduce into both your community locally and at the gym. So
Mike,
like we're getting a lot of questions coming in.
Yeah. Mike, do you mind if I hop in real quick?
Sure. Yeah.
I see that people are clicking the link and going to get signed up, which is awesome. I do just want to make sure that as you sign up and fill out those forms, you are aware of those 3 additional steps that you need to take that Mike just hit on. So as soon as you complete your registration, you are going to receive instructions from Weld and instructions from ZenPlanner. And it's really important that you get those filled out and follow the steps in the follow-up emails. We're not going to be able to get you up and fully running with the integration unless you get those filled out. So just wanted everybody to be mindful of that.
Yep. So I think it's a good time to bring in some questions, Whitney. One question from Cecilia: do we have to check eligibility every month to make sure they didn't change tiers?
Yeah, great question. And one thing that we do, right, when we receive the utilization file from Weld, we run that through validate eligibility. We would pay on memberships until that member would become ineligible. So if they happen to change tiers, and I don't know if John or Blake want to add to some of that, what they do on their side with the co-checking and validating against the eligibility tiers. John and Blake, I know we've chatted about this. I'm not sure if you're able to jump in and provide some color.
Yeah, I'm bringing them back on stage, so hopefully
Wonderful. Okay.
they can hop in and.
Yeah, I'd be certainly happy to answer that. We do revalidate monthly.
Thank you.
Great. Another question, Teresa asked, can you just do the commercial option?
I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, team, but I believe you do have to opt into, when you opt in, it is for both our government Medicare and Medicaid and our commercial program. There's not an option to do one or the other.
That's correct.
Okay. We have a question that says, are we able to opt out at any time?
I think the terms of the agreement, and again, I'll lean a little bit on perhaps the other team members on here. I believe it does potentially run through an initial term, which is an extended term through 2024. Is that accurate? So through 12/31/2024.
Yes, I will need to double check the terms of the agreement, but that sounds correct to me. I will follow up.
Let's see here. There's, I think, 2 more questions. If we have unlimited memberships, can we charge the member the difference? It's a great question.
It is a great question. So if the member wishes, right, they can't be forced to access or pay for services that they don't wish to. But yes, if the member is like, oh, well, I want to access more than 4 classes or 8 classes, that's covered as part of my fitness offering. You are absolutely, depending on what they are interested in, able to allow them to buy up. And then how you handle that from a business perspective, if you want to, comp the difference, that is, up to you on that. But it would be a discussion with the member on what they're looking for, and then certainly those buy up opportunities are another great way, right, to generate revenue. It's maybe appealing to members that you otherwise wouldn't have, and then with that comes not only revenue generated from their visits, but also those buy up opportunities.
Yep. Yeah, I think one of the things that was shared in the chat, you could also upsell or cross-sell into, other programs like personal training or, different programs you offer at your gym. So, wow, the questions are keeping coming in. So we'll go through a few more and then we'll talk about how do we actually promote this program. One of the questions, are we notified in enough time as they have to reserve classes and their payment is generated after the 25th? So Stephen, that might be a question for you.
And Cecilia, I might need you to clarify on that question a little bit. This is meant to be set up as regular memberships. So when they sign up through Optum, they'll be created as a prospect in your system. You'll then go in and add the according membership to their account, and they'll be sent information to download the app and reserve classes. So however you have those reservation settings set up currently, the Optum members will need to play by those rules. I'm not certain if that answers your question. Let's see.
I think I'm reading the question as, are we sure they're going to get pay for that class or that access? So that if they're part of the network, it's guaranteed.
Yeah. So I can address that if that's the question. You're going to get paid based on check-ins. So it is really important that you're checking these folks into your facility upon them showing up. And part of our integration with Weld and Optum is that Weld is going to pull that check-in information daily. So you don't need to run reports and send that to Weld. You don't need to keep track of who came when. You just need to make sure that you check them in when they show up, and you'll get paid based off that check-in.
Yep. Okay, a couple more questions, and then we're going to move to the promotions, and we'll go back to additional questions. Let's see. John asks, is that for all Medicare, Medicaid recipients, or only those managed by Optum? Is there any information on Optum's market share by state or location? It's a really good question.
Yeah, so I can get you probably some of those details. I will say right now, our biggest population sits within Renew Active by United Healthcare. So that services our Medicare Advantage populations that have United Healthcare Medicare Advantage, United Healthcare Group Retiree, and then United Healthcare Medicare Supplement. That is where probably for our Medicare Medicaid population, about 98% sit, and that is, nationwide eligibility with a fair number of saturation. And as you can imagine, the Floridas, right, Texas, and the like, but it is nationwide with a fair amount of eligibility.
Okay, awesome. And then Craig asked, how quickly do we get paid? Is it every month? We did address this, but let's clarify that one more time.
Yes, payment would go out monthly. And Stephen, if you want to add some color there, I assume that's the circumstance.
Yeah, sure. I was actually just discussing this with Blake. So they are pulling the check-in data and receiving those funds back within 2 weeks. So it's actually a rolling, you're not getting the lump sum in a week, you're getting paid in a rolling amount. So 2 weeks to process the check-in, and then another couple of days to actually, for Weld to actually deposit that. And Blake, if you have any other information there, that would be great. Does that sound correct, Weld team?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay.
Cool. All right. Well, we'll come back to the additional questions. I want to get into, just for the sake of time, talk a little bit how we promote this program. And so let's click over here. So there's kind of two ways to really promote this program, right? You want to obviously help attract people out in the community. And then people that are participating in these programs, or they're eligible for, correct me if I'm wrong, Whitney, but there is a database out there that shows eligible fitness facilities, correct?
That shows for members that members are able to, yes, yep. So we have a prospect website, which is uhcrenewactive.com, for example. That's a public facing site where prospects shopping around are able to search for in-network fitness facilities. And additionally, within each authenticated member experience, whether it be OnePass or Renew Active, yes, there is a full gym search function. All of our advocates, if a member were to call customer support, have access to that. So yep, absolutely, all participating facilities are surfaced. Yeah,
so that's, for me, as somebody who's owned a gym for a long time, that's one of those great ways to have another area to funnel people to my gym. If you're the only gym in the area offering this program, you already have a leg up, because there's people actively looking for a facility that offers this program. So right then and there, you put yourself a leg up on the competition in your local market. Here are some of the things, though, I think you all can do to help position yourselves as a gym in the area that offers this program. So first of all, we think about our website. It's the hub of maybe the experience people learn about your community, right? Sometimes it's the Instagram or Facebook, but when they go to the website, calling this out is really important, right? You're gonna, some people may not realize that at first glance that they're eligible. They may be a United Healthcare, use that for their insurance and not realize like, oh, I can actually come to this gym because I have this benefit as part of my program. I do recommend setting up a specific landing page for this too. Talk about the benefits of the program, how it works within your community. And if you're not sure how to do that, we have a great websites team that this is the stuff they work on every day. So feel free to reach out about that. Part of that, the communication strategy too, I think is on that social media, right? So we know people discover us because, a friend liked a post or they commented on our Instagram feed. So you should build regular content where you're talking about this program in your community. And that could be, once every 2 weeks, a couple times a month. Start to highlight and share stories about people in your gym who participate in this program, and maybe they never would have discovered your facility without it. So you start to build those feedback loops so other people can discover it, and all of a sudden, like, you become that go-to destination in your town. And writing content on your blog is super important. So if you're in a community and you're not regularly creating content, you're actually doing yourself a disservice. And we all have this expertise as leaders in fitness in our community, where we have all this knowledge that we're sharing with our members day in and day out when they come to our classes or come to our facility. Take a moment, record a video, take a moment, write that stuff down and share this program, because when people start to search, fitness in my local community that use the Optum program, guess who's going to show up on page one? Your facility you are. So start to build that plan, post a blog at least once a month about this program, highlight those members that use it, and you'll start to see over time, you're going to get more and more people in your facility. And then lastly, I'll tell you, I participated in a program like this many years ago. I actually went to, work through some of my connections in my community, whether it was my local gym members or people I knew. And I targeted employers that maybe have offered insurance like this. And I highly recommend reaching out to those community connections and start to build this referral network, so more and more people know, like, you are the facility that offers this program. So that's kind of a little external, couple strategies, couple tactics you can produce. Now, internally into your community, we have signage that you can push, and put on your front desk. Deliver this content through newsletters and emails. Let your members know this program, because they may know somebody in their family, in their friend group that could be eligible, that they've been trying to get them in the door for many years. They've probably come to your events, you've talked to them before, but this could be that one step that gets that person to, take the step to walk into your facility. So those are just a couple of options. If you have more ideas, feel free to share those in the chat. If you want to talk more, I'd be happy to. You can shoot me an email. I'll drop my email in the chat as well. Be happy to share more options there. So anything else to add, team?
Nothing for me.
Okay. You got it covered.
Cool. So, and we'll be releasing more content around these opportunities as well, to give you some frameworks and some content posts. So more to come. All right. So these are some of the resources that are available. Just some posters that we have logos. We have some approved messaging on social media, window clings, things for when people walk by your facility or walk in for the first time. And then the other thing that's great is we have a lot of staff resources that outline the program, frequently asked questions when you're doing that sales conversation or prospect call. And then just a guide to, how the program works and get their codes. So all that stuff is shared when you're registered. We have it included as part of our help article. So a lot more questions have come in. So I'm going to peruse through these and bring them up to the panel. So let's see. All right. So Teresa asked, what are the fees to the member for commercial which is 15 for commercial. Is there an enrollment fee and 1 to 2 months collected up front? I'm not sure if Teresa, if you want to ask that question again, I'm not sure if I understand exactly. There is no enrollment fee for this program, correct?
Correct.
Yep. So it's just another benefit of their insurance.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. Looks like Amy's answering a lot of questions in the chat. Okay. So John asked a really important question that I want to share with the whole group. So he said, so people could register online, become added as members, and we are charged more for ZenPlanner. But we have no guarantee that they will ever come in. Are they only added as prospects once they register themselves? So Stephen, you want to answer that?
Yeah, happy to. So they are put into your system as prospects. So you won't be inherently charged for them until you promote them to a membership. But that is a really good point that was brought up. That is something that you're going to have to be mindful of. We recommend that you are doing audits of these members a couple times a month just to make sure that they are actually attending your facility, because like it was brought up, they will be counted as members in your ZenPlanner system. So you want to make sure you're getting paid for their check-ins. That being said, you can drop them at any time if they're not attending, and then they can just sign back up the same way that they did if they want to start attending your facility again. So I hope that answered the question.
Yep. Brandon asks, do we print those, or are they something that is shipped in terms of the assets?
Right now, we do serve them up in a PDF format, and I assume that's the way they're within the help article as well.
Yep. Yeah. And then John asked a question that's dear to my heart.
We do have clings that we can mail, though. Window clings. We can mail window clings. So
Okay.
That's obviously a mail that we would do. Mm-hmm.
Is that they just need to reach out via email?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. Great. John asks, is there branding that can be added to our website if managed by ZenPlanner and UpLaunch? John, absolutely. Just reach out to your account manager for your website, and they'll be happy to do that. So let's see, a couple more questions in here. Can you repeat the website that tells us what insurance covers this? So Brandon, that's optum.zenplanner.com. That's our landing page that outlines the whole program. So feel free to hop in. We'll also be emailing out this this webinar to everybody that registered. So.
And then I want to address a question that Craig just asked. Can we just charge the members our normal rate and then have them get reimbursed from Optum? So there is the opportunity to upsell them on more check-ins, but Craig, you're not able to charge them in addition to those check-ins. In order for this program to work, you need to set them up with the free membership that you'll create and allow Optum to reimburse you directly for the check-ins. There's not a way to make that work in the way that you have it right now.
Yeah. So,
and I'll add more to that too. It is a filed benefit for Medicare, for example. So as part of those CMS guidelines, it is an at no cost offering to the member, in which we don't then reimburse the member, right? We reimburse those partnering facilities. So while it's also the program structure, it also has to do with the actual CMS guidelines as set forth.
Yep. Yeah. So to add on to that, you know, if they're eligible for 8, you could sell another package on top of that includes, let's say, 6 check-ins or 8 more check-ins. Their first 8 would be through the Optum program, and their next 8 is the agreement or the membership that you sell. So Julia says the information you're discussing today in a document to review. Julia, your best bet is to go to the optum.zenplanner.com website. That should have everything. But if you do have questions, feel free to reach out to our support team, and they can provide you that. And we're also going to email out details of the program and this webinar. So Jenny said, how do we get content to put on our website if it is not managed by ZP? That's a great question. So Jenny, my recommendation is you to write or create that content from some of the help articles that we have. But but that's one of the great benefits of being a part of our, our website team is we can help you create that content. So. Natalie said, can you verify what the contract term is for gyms if we opt into Optum? Stephen, did we get that answered?
We did, yeah. So Whitney was correct initially. The initial contract term is through December 2024.
Okay, thank you for that. Okay, are there any more questions? I'm just going to scroll up in the chat just to see if there's anything we missed from earlier. I think we covered all of those. Oh, John asked, how are the payments processed? Are they checks or direct deposit?
I believe Amy hopped in and answered that, but it is direct deposit.
Direct deposit, great. Okay. All right. Any more questions from, let's see.
Oh, good question from Charles. Are all classes available to them, or can we have specific classes? Charles, as part of the agreement with Optum, you are obligated to make all of your regular classes available for them for as many check-ins as they have. Now, understood that a lot of folks might have introductory classes or things like that, or just want to do an intro with them first, and you can absolutely still put them into that funnel. But when they are actually full members and ready to go, you need to make sure that you have all your class times available for them.
Okay. Yeah, great question. Oh, Teresa had a great question. If your gym doesn't accommodate 65 plus, is it worth signing up? How would that work if they sign up and then realize our workouts are not for them? I'm happy to answer that from a gym owner perspective. So if you don't typically work with that population, that's only one part of the program. We also do have the commercial option and the Medicaid option that those age ranges, and Whitney, correct me if I'm wrong, are from 18 to 64.
That is correct. Yep.
Yep. So yeah, so you just, that's a conversation. I don't think when I was running in my gym, I'm not, I don't put people in the classes right away. I always have that conversation. So that I think this is an opportunity to create more prospects in your funnel. And then when you have that conversation with them, say, is this the right fit for you? If you're not able to accommodate that population, I think that's totally okay. Because you want to make sure you're, the reason we're in fitness and we're in this is to help people get better. And if that's outside of our expertise, then you don't want to put somebody in the not a position to win. So let's see. Liana asks, is this just for classes or not appointments or sessions?
This would just be for classes, yeah. But you can upsell for personal training appointments, but this Optum program only gives them access to your regularly scheduled classes.
Okay. So Julie asked a similar question. I only do personal training or small group personal training. It costs more than the $14 or $15. So how would that work for me?
Yeah, and honestly, Julia, the answer is you'll have to see if it works for your current model. These folks are going to be looking for classes. So maybe it is you list your gym and they sign up, and then you can talk to them about small group personal training. If it interests them, then yeah, you might have a new member on your hands, but might not always be the fit for everybody, kind of like Mike was discussing. And this is really more of a class-based model.
Okay. All right. I think we are at time, and I don't see any more questions coming through. Amy just answered one with Ernest. So, well, I want to thank the panel for hopping on and sharing the program. And then for all the participants, thanks for spending the last 45 minutes with us. I know it's tough to get out of the gym and, get away from, selling memberships and cleaning and, running classes. So we appreciate it. We will be following up with emails and a review or a copy of this webinar. So you guys are happy to do that. And like I mentioned before, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. I dropped my email in the chat. as well as our support at ZenPlanner. And we'll be able to walk you all through on how getting everything set up. So thanks so much for attending, and I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your week.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.